Most people, when they hear something move in a room that's supposed to be empty, run. My uncle sat down. He looked toward that dark bedroom, and he said, out loud, completely calm, "If you want something, come talk to me." And something responded, "Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your name, and if you're new here, this channel is dedicated to real stories. Not Hollywood, not fiction, real experiences from real people, told exactly as they happened. And today's story, it was told to me personally by my own uncle. Now before I go any further, I want you to understand something about this man. He's in his 40s. He's been divorced for a few years, lives completely alone in a small apartment. He's educated, he's sharp, and he is not the kind of person who panics. Not even a little. But he is the kind of person who has spent decades reading about the supernatural, jinn, spirits, ancient, folklore from across the Middle East. He doesn't just believe in these things passively, studies them, like a scholar who chose a different library. So when something happened in his apartment one night, he didn't call anyone. He didn't run. He didn't even flinch. He handled it the only way he knew how. And honestly, that might be the most terrifying part of this whole story. It was late at night. My uncle was sitting in his living room. Just him, his phone, and the quiet. Now, the layout of his apartment is important. The bedrooms sit directly next to the living room. There's no distance between them. No buffer. What happens in those rooms? You hear it like it's right next to you. He had been scrolling for a while. Nothing unusual. Just a regular night. And then, the closet door in the bedroom opened. Slowly. Then, just as slowly, it closed again. Now here's what you would probably do. Here's what I would do. Heart rate spikes. You grab your phone. Maybe you call someone. Maybe you run out of the apartment. At minimum, you freeze. My uncle? He set his phone down. He looked toward the bedroom. And he spoke. Now, before I tell you what happened next, I need you to understand something. What he said wasn't a joke. It wasn't bravado. It wasn't him trying to sound tough for no one. He meant every word. Because in his world, in the framework he'd spent decades building through those books and those beliefs, what you say to something unseen matters. The words carry weight. The intention carries weight. And he had just issued an invitation. The question was, would something accept it? He said, directly toward the room. Asterisk, stop doing that. If you want something, come talk to me. Asterisk. Silence. Complete, total silence. The kind of silence that has weight to it. The kind you can feel pressing against your ears. And then, he pushed further. Because that's who he is. He said, if you are good, give me a small sign. If you are evil, give me a strong one. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. He didn't say, please don't be evil. He didn't say, I hope you're friendly. He essentially said, asterisk, show me exactly what you are. I can handle it either way. Asterisk. That kind of calm. That's not ignorance. That's not recklessness. That is a person who has made peace with what he believes exists in this world and decided that knowing is always better than not knowing. The silence held. 1 second, 2 seconds, and then a sound came from the room. He described it to me as a low choking moan, like something or someone gasping, struggling, like the sound a person makes when they can't breathe and they're losing the fight. Then silence again. Just silence. He had asked for a sign. He got one. A strong one. Now, I need to stop here and ask you something directly. Because this is the moment that separates this story from every generic ghost story you've ever heard. He wasn't scared. When he told me this, sitting across from me, completely relaxed. Almost like he was recapping a sports game. There was no trembling. No wide eyes. No, and then I ran out. Nothing. Just calm, measured words. Like a man describing something that confirmed what he already suspected. And that is what kept me up that night. Because fear is understandable. Fear makes sense. But complete calm in the face of something that answers you from a dark room? That means this wasn't his first time being aware of something like this. And it raises the question, what exactly does he think is in that apartment? When I asked him, he gave me an answer I wasn't expecting. He said it wasn't a jinn. Now, for those who don't know, jinn are supernatural beings from Islamic and Middle Eastern tradition. They're not genies from cartoons. They're complex, ancient entities that exist in a world parallel to ours. Some are malevolent. Some are neutral. Some even coexist peacefully with humans. But he ruled that out. He also said it wasn't what most Westerners would call a ghost. Not a soul, not a spirit of someone deceased. What he believed it was is something far older and far less talked about in mainstream Western culture. He called them the unseen inhabitants of the house. In certain Middle Eastern folk traditions, there exists a belief that specific locations, homes, buildings, plots of land, have beings already living in them, not visiting, not passing through, living there, long before any human moved in. These aren't evil by nature. Many of them are simply territorial. They exist in a space that they consider theirs. And when a new human enters that space, especially one who is alone, who has changed the energy of the home through something like divorce or upheaval, these beings take notice. Some tolerate the human presence, some resent it, and some, according to the folklore, will make their feelings very, very clear. My uncle had moved in after his divorce. He was alone. He was a man whose entire life had recently shifted, and shifts like that, in this belief system, are exactly the kind of thing that stirs something awake. Whatever was in that apartment, it had been there before him, and based on the sound it gave him, it was not happy he was there. Here's what I keep coming back to. He still lives there. After everything, the creaking door, the invitation, the horrible sound from the room, he stayed. I asked him why, and he said something that I think about constantly. He said, "Knowing what's there is better than being somewhere and not knowing. At least now, we understand each other. We understand each other." He spoke to something in that apartment. Something answered. And somehow, that was enough for him to feel settled. I don't know if that's wisdom or something. I don't have the framework to understand yet. Maybe both. Now, I want to talk about this for a second, because I know a big chunk of you watching right now are coming at this from a completely Western, skeptical perspective, and I respect that. So let's play this out rationally. Option 1. It was the building settling. Old apartments creak. Pipes make weird sounds. A closet door with a loose latch can open and close on its own. The choking moan could have been a neighbor, an animal, an air duct. Completely explainable. And look, I hear that. But here's the thing that rationality struggles with in this story. It's not just the events. It's the sequence. The door opened. He spoke. He asked a specific question, good or evil, small or strong. And immediately after, an unusual sound responded, matching the exact category he asked for. If that's coincidence, it's a hell of a coincidence. Option 2. My uncle, a man who has spent decades immersed in this belief system, unconsciously interpreted neutral events through that lens. Confirmation bias. He heard a sound, and his mind classified it as a response because he was primed to. Also possible. Option 3. Something was there. Something heard him, and something answered. I'm not here to tell you which one to believe. That's not my job. My job is to tell you the story exactly as it was told to me. But I'll say this. I've known my uncle my whole life. I know the difference between when he's performing a story and when he's telling me the truth. When he told me this, he was not performing. He was reporting. And the calm, that unshakable, almost eerie calm, told me more than the words did. My uncle still lives in that apartment. The door hasn't opened on its own since that night, at least. Not that he's mentioned. Maybe whatever's in there got what it wanted. Maybe being acknowledged was enough. Maybe, in that strange, ancient logic of the unseen, being spoken to directly, honestly, without fear, earned some kind of strange respect. Or maybe it's still watching, still waiting, still deciding. I asked him once if he was ever going to move out. He shrugged and said, "Every place has something in it. At least here, I know what mine is." I didn't have an answer for that. I still don't. But I think about that closet door sometimes. Late at night, in my own apartment, when the building makes a sound I can't immediately explain. And I think, if something in these walls ever wanted to introduce itself, I hope it's not giving me the strong sign. Thanks for watching. If this story got to you, and I think it did, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. And it tells me you want more stories like this one. Subscribe if you're new. I put out real stories, unexplained experiences, and deep dives into folklore and the paranormal every week. No fluff, no clickbait, just stories that are worth your time. Drop in the comments, do you believe my uncle? Do you think there was a rational explanation? Or have you ever experienced something in a home that felt like it wasn't yours alone? I read every comment. I want to hear from you.